Thank you for joining us today. For those who don't know me, I'm Jessica Vieira, the Executive Director of the Greater Wasilla Chamber of Commerce. Today, I have the pleasure of interviewing the 2020 City of Wasilla mayoral candidates here in beautiful Old Town Wasilla. Our Wasilla Chamber Government Affairs Committee has curated a list of questions important to the Wasilla area and our Wasilla Chamber of Commerce. These interviews, as well as the forums and debates that will follow in the coming weeks, are all part of our effort to help the members of our community be informed when they go to the polls to vote. It is our hope that through these interviews, you will learn a bit more about the candidates asking to represent Wasilla as its mayor, and that you will cast your vote for your favorite candidate on October 6th. Thank you, Glenda, for joining me here today. To begin, could you briefly tell us a bit about yourself and your history here in Wasilla?
I have been a resident in the city of Wasilla for 34 years. I have raised my family here. I have 4 children, 9 grandchildren, and 2 great-grandchildren. And fortunately, all but one family is here, and they work and live and participate in the community here. I have served on Planning Commission for 2 terms. I am currently serving on the City Council. This is my 4th year. I've served on the board at WASI. I volunteer a lot over at WASI because those people over there are just so genuine. I thoroughly enjoy it. And by owning a business here, I am able to help my community. I visit with my house to see what's going on there, how can I help there. And usually if you will look at the committee rosters in the city, you will find my name on just about every one of them, because I live here, I participate, because this is my home. And I like to have a safe neighborhood. I'm not afraid to go to the grocery store at 8 o'clock or whenever. So that is my whole purpose. I love Wasilla and I love living here.
Okay, Glenda, our first question is, the Wasilla Chamber has made local control one of its legislative priorities. The state's regulations on liquor licenses have created barriers to business here in Wasilla. What is your position on local control, specifically in regard to liquor licenses?
We should have local control because we have the police force, we have the numbers to back up our police force and the businesses that do serve alcohol. It's a hindrance to our economic development. For instance, we cannot get Olive Garden, we cannot get the Texas Roadhouse and Costco. And us not being able to have Costco is not only an economic development problem, but if we have a disaster, how much food do we have on the shelves to sustain us? So therefore, I will continue to fight for local control.
All right, our second question is, if elected mayor, what would your priorities be for the next 3 years?
My priorities will be to keep the light on. We are open for business. Bring it. We're ready. And to develop a strong workforce through partnership with the businesses and the schools. And I also want to empower the business community to bring forth strong policies that assist in their future growth plans, and to invest into infrastructure and our next generation, because we definitely need that next generation.
For sure, especially here in the city.
Yes.
So the Chamber has enjoyed a great working partnership with the current administration. How do you plan to continue that partnership under your administration if elected mayor?
I have been involved with the Chamber somewhat, and it's a great tool for us to have, because not only do they promote the businesses, but they also promote the community. And I would definitely work as a partnership with them to continue the work that they have started.
All All right, so we see Wasilla as the retail hub of the valley. As the city is funded by city sales tax, what is your plan for restoring consumer confidence and stimulating the local economy?
As part of the city council, we worked on a plan for the COVID money to get it out to businesses so that they can keep their doors open and their employees employed. And also, when you keep the door open to entice businesses to come, then that not only creates sales tax, but it creates jobs. And when people are able to work and provide for their families, then their confidences go up.
Thank you, Doug, for joining me here today. To begin, why don't you tell us a bit about yourself and your history here in Wasilla?
Thanks for the opportunity. I currently live here in the city limits with my wife, Misty, and my 3 sons, Garrison, Roman, and Mason. To back up things, we moved to the valley in the early 70s. My family moved into the city limits in 1980, where I began first grade in City Hall, which is kind of an interesting note. Graduated from Wasilla High and have currently been living in the city limits since then. My wife comes from a long history of Wasilla. Her grandparents were the Thielens and her parents the Cottles. I'm not currently, but I was on the city council. It was the last term of Mayor Keller and the first term with Mayor Rubright. I've served as president of the Matsu Amateur Hockey Association for 3 years. Volunteer in hockey. My kids are big into hockey, so I just got a long history here, and that's one of the reasons I'm running. I got invested interest and wish to continue making Wasilla a great place to live.
All right. The Wasilla Chamber has made local control one of its legislative priorities. The state's regulations on liquor licenses have created barriers to business here in Wasilla. What is your position on local control specifically in regard to liquor licenses?
I understand the issue. Wasilla city limits are small. We have, outlying communities that come to Wasilla, and so our liquor licenses are minimized just because of our size of Wasilla, and I see the need to expand, and I would support any legislative to bring forward some initiative to get more liquor licenses in the city limits.
Okay. Our second question is, if elected mayor of Wasilla, what would your priorities be for the next 3 years?
The past administrations have done well growing the commercial retail end of the city, but with that it brings more traffic. So my first initiative would be to develop a traffic division within the Wasilla Police Department to curb the driving behavior in the city. Another initiative would be you're elected for 3 years, and I'd like to take an area and revitalize that area where people can actually see something that that's came together over the last 3 years, instead of just doing something there and doing something over there. Do an actual area where people can say, hey, something did happen in the last 3 years.
Got things done.
Got things done. I guess and those are two pretty big projects. But I mean, I guess another one's just keep this a safe place for people to live and continue to thrive.
Okay. Third question is, the Wasilla Chamber has enjoyed having a great working partnership with the current administration. How would you plan to continue to partner with the Chamber under your administration should you be elected mayor?
Well, I would keep a good working relationship with the Chamber. I mean, an organization that helps small business, brings events to the city, is a win for everybody. So I would just keep the open relationship with the Chamber.
Okay. We see Wasilla as the retail hub of the valley. As the city is funded by city sales tax, what is your plan for restoring consumer confidence and stimulating the local economy?
Well, first I think that the people will look for the government confidence. And if the government is confident, the people will feel more at ease. Virtually, Wasilla is debt-free. It's working close with small businesses. They got the CARE Act going until December, unless the federal government extends it. And I think just with being open with the business owners and exuberating confidence, I think the public will feel more at ease and maybe start spending more.
All right, thank you, Stu, for joining me here today. To begin, could you briefly tell us a bit about yourself and your history here in Wasilla?
I'd be very happy to do that, Jessica. Thank you for inviting me and making this opportunity available. My name is Stu Graham. I'm a Wasilla resident. I'm a current Wasilla City Councilman with 6 years on the council, 2 terms now. And what I would like to do is I would like to bring my experience, not just on the council, but from my whole time in Alaska, from raising kids, from being on the PTA, from being in scouting, from being in youth sports and high school sports, from dealing with issues of the day like drug and alcohol abuse, like sexual abuse. These things are important and we need to deal with them, and we need to have someone in the mayor's seat that has experience across a wide variety of things. Now, I've been a small business owner. I've managed businesses for other people. I was an Air Force officer for 12 years where I had over 80 enlisted personnel and 20 officers reporting directly to me. I know how to handle city, and I know how to manage the many different departments that come with that. So what I want to do is I want to bring that to Wasilla, and I want to make sure that we continue to move forward, make sure that we continue to be a great place to do business, make sure we're a great place to raise our family, make sure we're a great place for our law enforcement and our public service folks to be able to work and to be respected in the community that they're in. Wasilla is an outstanding community, and I want to continue to move Wasilla forward, and I thank you for the opportunity to talk about that.
Okay, Stu, the first question is, the Wasilla Chamber has made local control one of its legislative priorities. The state's regulations on liquor licenses have created barriers to business here in Wasilla. What is your position on local control, specifically in regard to liquor licenses?
Well, thanks for that question, Jessica. And local control is drastically important to a city like Wasilla. We're a first-class city. We have our own law enforcement. We are the government that is closest to the people. The Constitution of the state of Alaska says that local control is essential except where powers need to be reserved by the state. In the case of liquor licenses, there is no need for the state to regulate liquor licenses in the city of Wasilla. We have outstanding law enforcement here. We have great code control here. We have an outstanding zoning plan here to make sure that we don't end up, with just 14 bars in a row. That's not what we're looking to do. But what we need to do to continue for that economic expansion, we need to be able to attract a place like Applebee's. We need to be able to attract a place like Costco. But with the current control that's being exercised at the state, that's not possible. And while the state has a responsibility and the need to put forth regulations for communities which are not controlling their own destiny, here in the city of Wasilla, we have outstanding ability to control. We have proven that for years and years and years. It's time for the state to say, yes, the city of Wasilla can control its own destiny when it comes to liquor licenses, when it comes to other areas of economic development, and the time is now to make that happen, and we will continue that fight as we have in the past. It was my pleasure to go to Juneau on several occasions and talk directly to the legislators, to talk with the Senate committee down there that was dealing with the bill, Senator Machicki's committee dealing with the bill. It is important, not only that we try to get that local control, but that we go down there and meet face to face, make sure that they understand what's going on, that we're respectful, and that we're respected when we go down there. I think I offered that, and I'm glad to offer that for the next 6 years.
Okay, Stu, if elected mayor of Wasilla, what would your priorities be for the next 3 years?
Well, the city of Wasilla needs to continue to focus on economic development. And economic development is a huge umbrella that covers a lot of things. Obviously, we need to attract businesses. We need to continue to generate sales tax revenue if we want to grow without having to impose property taxes. We need to continue to attract families. We need to have workers out here. We need to have adequate parks and recreation facilities. We have a great recreation facility at the Menard Center, but many people overlook the parks. I mean, look at Iditta Park, look at Carter Park, look at Wasilla Lake Park. Look at the parks that we have around Wasilla, which are in great shape and provide a great spot for persons to take their families or for folks to go out and recreate. So we need to continue that. And of course, no city or area can succeed without adequate transportation. We are now coming to the point where we're getting this transportation pinch. So we've got the Main Street project coming up. That's going to help traffic in the north-south. But looking at east-west, we need to start working now so that 6 or 8 or 10 years down the road, we can add an additional lane to the Parks Highway to make the Parks Highway easier to travel for folks to get into Wasilla and for folks to get through Wasilla. Wasilla survives because we are the economic nexus of the valley. And if we want to continue to do that, we need to continue to provide adequate transportation. We need to continue to provide for public safety. We need to continue to attract families, and we need to continue to attract business. So economic development is the key, but there are several pieces to that puzzle.
The Wasilla Chamber has enjoyed having a great working partnership with the current administration. How would you plan to continue to partner with the Chamber under your administration should you be elected mayor?
Well, that's a great question again, Jessica. The Chamber of Commerce is one of the keys to success here in the community. And for many, many years, I've been with the Chamber here in Wasilla for over 20 years, but I've also been members of the Eagle River Chamber of Commerce, the Anchorage Chamber of Commerce, the Greater Palmer Chamber of Commerce, Willow Chamber of Commerce. You might not even know they had one out there, but chambers of commerce are drastically important. And the Chamber of Commerce is one of the tools that fits into the toolbox of economic development. The Chamber of Commerce helps us make sure that folks are educated on current issues, gives you the opportunity to come together and talk about those issues, not just listen to somebody, but the networking opportunity that you have there to talk about those issues and to talk about the issues with your particular business. Now, I was past president of both the Palmer Chamber of Commerce and the Wasilla Chamber of Commerce. I was volunteer of the year for the Wasilla Chamber of Commerce. I think chambers are so drastically important to success, and the importance of working with the administration, working with the mayor's office to keep that moving is critical. And we will continue to work together and make sure that we are moving forward and not fighting each other, not butting heads, but joining forces and moving forward.
All right, final question. We see Wasilla as the retail hub of the valley. As the city is funded by city sales tax, what is your plan for restoring consumer confidence and stimulating the local economy?
Well, here in Wasilla, we rely completely on city sales tax for our revenue. We do receive some small funding from the state and from other smaller agencies, but 95% of our income comes through city sales tax, and that's the key to continuing to move forward. I don't think here in Wasilla we have seen the economic downturn that other parts of the nation have seen. If we look at our sales tax revenues since the COVID pandemic began, we can see that we are at the same level or even higher in some instances than we were in the past. So people see that there is opportunity here in Wasilla. Now, what we have to do as a city is we need to focus to make sure those opportunities are available to everyone. Whether you're a small business, with 1 or 2 employees, or whether you're Walmart, we need to continue to provide an environment where you can succeed. And the way that we do that, right now we have the phase 2 of the grant funds going on. We're planning on a phase 3 already, is to make sure that we provide the economic stimulus, the economic stabilization that businesses need to continue to keep their doors open. Now, some businesses will go out of business. Whether the pandemic was here or not, some businesses will go out of business. Not every business succeeds. And unfortunately, it's the smaller businesses that take the more drastic hit. Somebody like Target can weather the storm a little bit better than can the candy store in the mall. Excuse me. But what we want to do is we want to make sure that we continue to provide what consumers want to see. What they want to see is they want to see easy transportation. They want to see adequate electric power, which we're working on expanding the city's access to electric power. And they want to see a safe place where they can be on the streets, and they want to have adequate supplies. And they want to be in a safe place when they do that. So whether businesses decide that you should wear a mask or not wear a mask, that's their business. And that's part of their model, and that's what they consider may be needed to keep their customers safe. What the city needs to do is to make sure that we support whatever the businesses need to have happen, and make sure that we provide the infrastructure that they need, make sure we provide the security that they need, make sure we provide the opportunities that they need. Wasilla will continue to do well, and I look forward to expanding commerce here in Wasilla.
Finally, I would like to thank the City of Wasilla, and especially the City of Wasilla Museum, for allowing us to use the Old Town site for these mayoral interviews today. It's provided the perfect setting for the potential future mayor of Wasilla to give us their views on some of the issues that are important to the area and the Wasilla Chamber. Thank you to the candidates for agreeing to come interview with us. Thank you. Have a great day.